Hello, the good friends and the good people and the bad people, friends and enemies. Yeah, you over there in the corner. You know who you are. And a hearty boom shakalaka to all. I am Chris Base. This is a special baseline we call the baseline breakdown. And traditionally we have CBI, Chris Base interviews in this time slot. But because of what's happening in our country, we decided to interrupt my own CBI program to bring you this special. So the world is very strange. Song once said, "Strange days indeed, strange days indeed." My brother in broadcast, Will Vincent, how you doing, brother? Thank you for being here. As always, good brother. So you know what we're here for. Kevin McCarthy ousted as House Speaker. The first time in history a speaker has been removed through the non-confidence vote. Okay. Smells like a setup. You want to get in on this? The floor is yours. Please comment in the comment section there if you'd like, or if you be so bold, you can comment through calling. And that phone number is right there on the bottom of your screen, 312-597-2106. Again, 312-597-2106. For those of you out there in the land of YouTube, you catch me right now on the Chris Base channel. So make sure you be a part of that. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like, and make sure you share. Let's see. Vincent thought that was going to happen to him anyway. Well, yeah, he cut the deal, as we all know. You look, the man, and we'll get into more as we go along, obviously. And thank you for your comments and keep them going. The man went through 15 rounds, going back to McCarthy, 15 rounds before he was put in the House Speaker. That alone showed you that nobody wanted your ass. Nobody, not even your own people. But the Hateful Eight, led by Matt Gaetz, put him in there and took him out. What can I say? It's one of those things where what's happening in our country, you have to sit back and try to make sense of it. I always tell you, you can't make sense out of nonsense. You can't. It's just virtually impossible. I dare you to try. As Scooby Doo once said, roster up. I dare you to try. Representative Steve Womack, Republican of Arkansas, said in an interview with Meet the Press Now that he supports the majority leader supports for Steve Scalise as speaker. So now we're getting into the muck and mire, what can possibly go on with people ascending to the speaker throne. So let's go over some of that. Well, let's go over this. So, who could be the next Speaker of the House? We look over the people. We go over Tom Emmer, who is the majority whip, Representative Tom Emmer, Representative Elise Stefanik, who is the GOP conference chair, Representative Tom Cole, Rules Committee chair. Now the odds-on favorite, who has already stepped out and said they want to get the chair, Representative Steve Scalise, who is the majority leader, and Representative Jim Jordan, Judiciary Committee chair. So they've already expressed interest already. Mind you, the House to vote on a new speaker as of next week? Kind of quick there. Let's see as we go to the comment section. Well, sick digging, a vote of confidence is always a risk in politics. Check out the parliamentary system in let's see, other countries. Prime ministers have been removed from power by such votes. What is that? If no confidence. You are correct. You are correct in your assessment. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, what's up, Jed? Thank you for being here. As you see, Sick and also Jed are coming here through YouTube, and my man Vincent's coming here through the Facebook Live. We welcome all people. I was trying to divide into one point, but let's see, the more the merrier. So Jed types, let's see, greetings all, may we be cursed with living in interesting times, vacancy. Interesting times indeed. Strange days indeed. They want Jim Jordan. Yeah, they want Jim Jordan, but they don't know who they want to a degree, Vincent, because look at the shit show that they just displayed. Hell, even Matt Gaetz has thrown his hat in the ring talking about he wants to possibly be House Speaker, which I thought was going to be the plan anyway, the way he went after McCarthy. So yeah, it's beyond interesting to say the least. Let's see here. Representative Anthony D. Esposito, representative, he's a Republican out of New York, told Andrea Mitchell this afternoon on MSNBC that an egomaniac named Matt Gaetz decided to take out personal issues with the speaker on the House floor. Now we have to deal with over the next week going to conference, finding a new leadership, finding a new speaker, electing one, and then getting back to the people's business, the Esposito said. Once again, the New York Republican went on to say that Gaetz, Republican out of Florida, is getting in my way of fulfilling duties to constituents. This is not what people of the 4th Congressional District sent me here to do. They sent me here to govern, and that's exactly what I want to do, but Matt Gaetz is getting in my way. You get a lot of people's way. As a matter of fact, a lot of these conservatives, Republicans, are saying that they don't like Matt Gaetz. Matt Gaetz is I guess, charlatan. One of the words I heard on the news. That I guess he's a Republican conservative in sheep's clothing and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a lot of infighting, which you put upon yourself. I don't really. I kind of get a kick out of it, to be honest with you. So expect McCarthy to get was a primary next month, November 8th. You know what? It is so insane that really anything is possible at this point. I mean, I do mean anything is possible. Esposito also said that the egotistical maniac Getz's moves to oust McCarthy was a personal vendetta. What happened yesterday is literally going to put the American government to a halt until we find a speaker, and that should never happen again at the hands of one lunatic. It don't take much. I call them the hateful eight. Of course, Matt Gaetz and the other Republicans that sided on with the Democrats to get McCarthy out of office. So again, out of the people I mentioned, the ongoing favorites right now seem to be Steve Scalise and Jim Jordan. So it's a mess. There's a scene from the movie A Family Thing, and A Family Thing starred James Earl Jones and Robert Duvall. In fact, Robert Duvall also directed that movie, also filmed here in Chicago. And if you have not seen it, spoiler alert, turn away from your devices and come back in a few seconds. You do that? Okay, good. So there's a scene where Robert Duvall finds out that he's half black. And then he tells his father, who was white, Daddy, this is a mess. I hate to tell you this, but this is a mess. And that's where we are with the government, especially the Republican Party. It's a mess. But see, we, the people, have to suffer it. Let's see. Jess said, what was that, boobs? Was such a train wreck. She voted not right now. So nobody gets ego checked with facts, and our system gets ransomed off. Circus. Yeah, it's the circus of all time. Not even a good circus at that. Sick Diggy, welcome to reality TV version of House of Cards. I'd rather watch House of Cards. I'd rather watch that instead of this, quote unquote, here. And you hate to put in Trump, but I don't care. The hateful eight led by Matt Gaetz and people like that type of ilk, you really didn't see until Trump came along. And then when Trump came along, everybody wants to out-Trump Trump or try to imitate him, and not the sincerest form of flattery at all. We don't need minions upon minions of Trumpites, but that's what we're getting. Did you hear some crap about that if Trump was offered the House Speaker position, he would take it? Again, you talk about megalomaniacs. What's up, Ellie, how you doing? Thanks for being here. And once again, as always, thank you all for being here. Whether you're going through Facebook Live or my YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel. I hope you do both. I would say, do both. In fact, if you have a YouTube account, go on to my channel, the Chris Base channel, and make sure you subscribe. As I always say, we're trying to build something here. I can't do it without you. So I'm trying to build an audience on the other platforms. So if you will, I deeply appreciate it from the bottom of my scrotum. Make sure that is true. Well, anyway, when you have time, go to my YouTube channel, the Chris Base channel, and check it out. And make sure you subscribe, like, and share. But make sure you subscribe first with anything else. Make sure you subscribe first. Subscribe, my people. Subscribe. Elle says you are correct. Well, you hate to be correct about something like this. They are nuts. Yeah, they're insane. And don't get me wrong, I don't like either side of the aisle these days. That even though I'm a registered Democrat, the Democrats are too damn weak for me on a national level. And in this whole sidebar conversation, to get back to my point, I said before, the Democrats need to stop bullshitting and let the newer blood come through. And that's Hakeem Jeffries, and that's AOC. Let the new blood start having a voice. Let them do that. Let them have that. But I somewhat digress. You subscribe? Thank you, Elle. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And to show you again, when you say, hold on, going back to the comment section here. I think the Dems play it well. The Dems, look, everybody knows their role, like The Rock used to say when Dwayne Johnson used to wrestle. The Rock says, know your role and shut your mouth. And that's what both sides of the aisle do. They got their positions so played they can do it in their sleep. But you and I are in the middle, which seems to be the ongoing thing. They don't care. Again, the government shuts down. We got, what 34 days or so before it shuts down in November or so. Because, again, this is temporary, what we have here. Then they go back and do it again and, shut them down. Shut them down. So you shut them down, then what you're going to do? The people in the Senate still get paid. Regardless of the shutdown, they still get paid. Their base salary is $174,000. And you and I both know it's more than that. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But their base salary is $174K. But their checks are still coming through. What about people who work at TSAs and, you know what I'm saying? It's sad. Government jobs. It doesn't make any sense. We discussed it earlier today. I'm sure you did. Elle has a good program on social media as well. And again, it needs to be discussed. And I think that you do yourself a disservice by at times not watching the news. That's just me. I mean, you have every right not to watch it, but you should at least know the bare minimum of what's going on around you. I understand the news is very depressing. Nobody knows more than me. Now, 30 years in this business from the standpoint of doing news talk and producing and covering stories. It's very, very upsetting and very, very depressing. I do take a break from time to time. I do unplug. Listen to some music, trying to read some books that I got. Listen to some classical music from time to time. So I do unplug because it can weigh on your soul. And speaking of souls, going back to this whole thing with McCarthy being ousted, what we're looking at is people who cut these deals. And so you're selling your immortal soul, but that's if you claim you have one. That's if you claim, because some of these people walk around here soulless. I personally believe that. soulless. So there is no soul to give over. Well, Lisa London says, "Hey, Base Nation, what about the premise of having Trump becoming speaker?" Yeah, I just talked about that. Yeah, now that would be a conspiracy. Now, I was reading somewhere that can't happen. That you can't bring in someone of that nature, especially with felonies and things of the like. So, which he does. So, no, they can't bring him in, even though there's conversation about it. But it, because we're living in strange days, it wouldn't surprise me if someone is trying to skirt the issue, do a couple of Heisman Trophy stiff arms with it and try to find a way to make that happen. As long as the Trumpites find a way to get them back into power, some way, shape, or form. Elle says, "Please don't even say." No, but we have to say it because it's scaringly true. Whoever's in power dishes out the privileges. They've been going on since the beginning of time itself. So you and I to be more diligent in our actions. It's the damnness of shame. I kid you not. Let's see. What's up, Kim Want? How you doing, sir? Sensitive like air traffic controller to shake my damn head. Absolutely. Oh yeah, I saw Omar in there. Omar, thank you again for being here. I saw you earlier. I was going through the conversation kind of quick, so thank you, Omar, and the rest of you for being here. A lot of jobs obviously affected, but if you don't care, which obviously they do not, the people in the Senate, the ones who've shown their faces, the ones who've shown how they operate, then there you go from there. L types, we have not seen the worst yet. No, no, no. We just scratching the surface. Scratching the surface. To show you how petty these rat bastards are, Nancy Pelosi accused interim House Speaker Patrick McHenry of ordering her to give up her office in the Capitol. I'm reading again for the cheap seats. Nancy Pelosi accused interim House Speaker Patrick McHenry of ordering her to give up her office in the Capitol. I don't know if that was one of McCarthy's plans before he was excommunicated from the House position of Speaker, but again, you're dealing with petty ass people and personality politics. I always said that anything's personal, despite what people say is all business. I think it's always been personal, and this describes it. Lisa types, keep in mind that the speaker is third in line for the presidency. All you have to do is get, quote unquote, rid of Biden and Harris. Well, you're right about that. Which again, you put, and once again, even though you can't legally do it with Trump because of um, his felonies and what he's going through, obviously with his court system and everything else, 91 counts. No, they can't put him in there. But it's always somebody who can break the rules and find fine print. So let's hope that the law, as fractured as it is, stays intact in some way, shape, or form, and not let his ass in, meeting Trump as House Speaker. It's good to hear, Professor. I would think so. Thank you, Kid. I would think because it's needed to be said. Jed, you nailed it on the head about soul. They must speak vampire. Like, may I enter your home? Right, you got to cross the threshold. Right. May I grift on your good nature? Beware the ticks. Yes, absolutely. So Republicans already barred Trump from being House Speaker again. So again, those are stories I've heard. The Republicans, the once again, is infighting, obviously within their party. So some Republicans are like, no, 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 we're not going to have that. Hell, nope. They can put him in if he can run for president again. he can be voted for speaker. That person does not need to be elected or sitting senator representative. I don't know. I've heard mixed. I've been watching TV all day. I've been watching going back and forth from CNN to MSNBC to even Fox to see what they're talking about. Obviously, they're going to be on the side. So I've heard mixed about the whole Trump can become House Speaker or not. So I'm hearing mixed on my side. Like I said before, it wouldn't surprise me. And I go along with what you said because Lisa's very up on the news. I've heard both on my end. So I go along with that, but still, it's still scary. I actually watched Ocasio explain what had taken place over the past week when McCarthy was lying over and over. Look, it was McCarthy that needed the Democrats' vote in order to pass this temporary bill not to shut down the government. This is say this last Saturday. Then he goes on, say, for example, CBS Face the Nation saying that it's the Democrats' fault. So you can't trust them as far as you could throw them. It's like, okay, we see you. You see, we got something for you coming up. Just an overall idiot. You're going to bite the hand that feeds you. There was an episode back in the day watching the Flintstones. And so Fred was talking to Dino and he said, I dare you to bite the hand that feeds you. Man, Dino took a chew on Fred's hand, like took a bite out of crime. Bit the hand that fed you, that helped you get a temporary bill so it won't shut down. And the very next day, you go on these Sunday Talking Head programs blaming the Democrats. Are you out of your mind? Well, I guess so. Look where he is now. So let's break down Mr. McCarthy, shall we? And how easy we forget things because, we go about our own business on a daily basis, but this is incredible. So again, he is on the whole thing about it was the Democrats' fault, but he needed their votes to get that done this past weekend. Let's see. Let me get some of these comments before I continue on. Jed, Lisa, how about his gag order and being a potential convict might impact him slash it the orange toad trying to fill the vacancy? That's possible too. Because you ever given a gag order by the judge in New York? Yep, he's probably asking what the hell happened. Well, again, yeah. Well, when you cut these deals with these people, I get tired of hearing the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. And I always say, why we got these damn devils? Anybody give two damns anymore? Well, apparently not. Let's go back to McCarthy. For one thing, meaning McCarthy tried to normalize Trump after January 6th. Meaning going to Mar-a-Lago and kissing the ring of Trump. He, meaning McCarthy, released the January 6th footage to then Fox employee Tucker Carlson. He ousted his friend Liz Cheney from leadership. He brought in people like Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, and it was Matt Gaetz that, did him in. These are types is going to violate the gag order, I bet. Can. The man does not take orders. You can't give someone like him, or it would be nice. Well, you say the man can't keep quiet. No, he can't. No, he can't, because he's used to giving the orders, not somebody telling him what to do. It's impossible. He lied to everyone. Of course, he lied to everyone. Look, you ever heard the phrase, the truth ain't in you? That's what applies here to these people. The truth ain't in them. They lied so much that the truth becomes the lie. If you get my drift. They believe their own crap. So I always believed that media always speaks to me. So I'm a Doctor Who fan, so Doctor Who is a alien that travels through time and space. So, having said that, his main nemesis is a man called the Master. And there was an episode years ago, used to come on Channel 11 on PBS, where the Master said, in order for a lie to work, it must be shrouded in truth. I said, damn, who wrote that? That's deep. And it stuck with me. And so when you tell these lies, has to be some shrivel of truth to it to a degree in order for it to begin. Now, when it goes from there, you keep lying and lying and lying and lying, then there you go. But it has to start from some shrivel of truth in order for it to be believable. Professor, are you going to chime in on the migration conspiracy in Chicago and other large cities? We can, but I today I really wanted to focus on the whole thing with the whole thing with McCarthy. That was really the plan. But if you want to talk about it, go ahead. Or you want to call in and talk about it? You know what? I mean, see, I guess the really why I wanted to focus on one thing was because now you catch me Saturdays when I do BaseLine on a Saturday, and I start to move to Saturday mornings, and that's at 7 a.m. Central, and that's free your mind. Talk about anything you want to talk about. But that topic about migration, oh yeah, that's a whole thing in itself. When will they learn everyone's link to Trump is going down? I said this before, and I'll say it again. I do believe in cults. People who subscribe to cults. I mean, hell, you go back to say, Charles Manson, John Koresh, these quote unquote charismatic leaders who were able to, Jim Jones, who were able to have all these people follow them and believe in them. Vote for me and I'll set you free. As the same could be said of Trump. I do believe that. And so, having said that, the Trumpites who believe in him willingly, no matter what he says or does, is going to happen. Again, and I said it before about Trump. So when he went to Georgia and was booked and had the T-shirts made of his mugshot and the key rings and literally mugs, his mug on the mugshot, that's when he became Christ, as far as I was concerned. It may be early depending on how you look at it, but to me, that was it. We had the merch because Jim Jones did that back in the day. He had merchandise. He was traveling from city to city. Go over here and buy a T-shirt and things like that. It's just amazing how that unfolds. It's amazing how you see all this come to play when you look at how it's dangerous. It's really, really dangerous. Your comments, keep them going there in the comment section. I thank you tremendously. Or you call in at 312-597-2106. Representative Garrett Graves, Republican out of Louisiana, one of McCarthy's top allies who helped negotiate his ascendancy to the speakership in January and the debt ceiling deal this year, said he has no interest at all in a leadership position. I enjoy doing behind the scenes work. I love the policy, but no interest in a leadership position, he told NBC News. Graves is not yet backing any of the GOP lawmakers who have formally declared their candidacy for speakership and said that it would be a mistake to commit right now given the tension in the caucus after yesterday's events. Now, I saw Representative Graves. I remember, if you catch the news, he was the one with the cell phone there in the chambers. So he was saying in an interview on MSNBC that the tension was so tight in there, it almost got the fisticuffs. Now, you want to lay hands on a person, you got to, you know it's deep. So that's what you're saying, that it was a good idea. Everybody go home, take a deep breath, and come back next day and try to figure out something. Uh, it doesn't look good, people. It just doesn't. So we just have to be due diligent and realize again that this is not normal. Then again, what is normal these days? Your guess is as good as mine. But once again, I've been in radio now, or broadcasting, or both. Been on social media now 30 years. And so when I first got into talk radio, I was told that the majority of the audience is white conservative males. The same could be said of talk TV in its infancy of, say, Fox News. And of course, it branches out to anybody who's conservative, but again, that's the basis of the audience. So, as a youngster, being what, 23, 24, when I got hired there as a board op before I became a host, it just seems though these white men were always mad, always angry, always pissed, and hated. And I use the word hate really strongly because that's how they came off. Hated Democrats or liberals. And it made it sound like being a Democrat and liberal was a bad thing. Sick diggity, political theater is on full display. Don't be surprised when the talking heads start scrabbling. Yeah. Sad but true. And the whole thing about playing to white conservative males, and once again, they came off just angry and pissed, like they wanted to spit, and like, maybe want to grip my teeth, and that type of. So that's always how they came off. So being in talk radio and seeing the ascension of a Rush Limbaugh, who was very mean spirited, who really would let the left have it, or anybody that's outside the Republican Party, using terminology like feminazis and stuff like that. It may come off as harmless fun, but it isn't, and it wasn't, and it still is not. So when you have someone like a Rush Limbaugh that gave birth to a Sean Hannity, we talk about radio in particular, and then a guy named Mark Levine, and those guys on the radio in particular, and Sean Hannity, of course, made the leap to television. When you look at that type of rhetoric, you giving birth to a Donald Trump, and then had the nerve to be surprised. Then have the nerve to be, hey, wait a minute, ain't no fucking wait a minute. This has been coming. And don't back up now. Oh, these Trump people. No. First of all, you're a weak ass party. You let anybody in your party, case in point, the Teetotalers or Tea Party, we will call them. You let them in with no problem. And it seems as though there was no fighting at all when Trump came into office. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. We all should know that by now. So let's see here. Let me go back to comment section. I said it time and time again, the Republican Party would self-destruct. Yeah, they self-destruct, but they find a way to get back together again. And the one thing you got to give them credit for, they stick with the script. Whatever the playbook is, they stick with it. Six says, I stopped trying to figure out what was normal a long time ago. Well, preach on that one. I'm not surprised by politics of the day, as Six continues to type. And we are seeing it play out in front of our eyes. You're right, L, about that. Okay, so you meant squabbling. Okay, got you, not a problem. Lisa types, so does this mean when the 45-day stopgap is over that the Republicans are going to shut the government down? It seems that that was their sticking point, or at least one reason they ousted McCarthy. Yes, because again, McCarthy was trying to find some sort of solace and bipartisanship for it not to be a government shutdown. But see, once again, you couldn't trust him. You can trust a can of paint, let alone him, what he did over this weekend, again, to work with the Democrats and turn around and say Democrats' fault. Look, doctor, it's like, come on, man. You can't serve two masters, as the Bible once said. You can't do it. So when all that went down, as we saw McCarthy being ousted, yeah, I think he was trying to you playing, you're talking on both sides of your neck at that point. I hope it doesn't shut down, because any House Speaker, whether it's Pelosi or anybody before Pelosi, there has to be a bipartisanship in order for everything to get done. Of course, you fight back and forth between Democrat and Republican. They do it every day. But for the sake of the betterment of this country, that bipartisanship is designed to do just that, for parties to come together for the betterment of this country. But either for the betterment of this country or for the betterment of oneself, I probably go with the latter. I find certain conservatives humorous, knowing full well that they're inciting people. Yes, absolutely sick. I mean, again, as I said before, from a broadcasting standpoint, when you talk about the people I just mentioned, say just from radio alone, and you have a Donald Trump down the road, this is the Frankenstein monster you've always wanted. Now, since you got him, some of y'all don't want him. Be careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Have it all the time. Aren't such parties about the end justifying the means? Well, yeah, but you have people like the Hateful Eight, again, led by Matt Gaetz, who are in it for themselves. They want likes and hearts and playing to that type of crowd, and just extreme right political stuff to the right of Genghis Khan. But again, this is what you've asked for. And then you have someone like Trump who comes along and just complete 180 and turns everybody on their ear. And then you have Vivek and Matt Gaetz and what's the lady's name? Marjorie Taylor Greene, who go out there and want to be Trump. We have one. Let's stick it at that. Let's keep this. We don't want him, but there you go. As far as Limbaugh goes, he wasn't a pill popping addict. Oh yeah, Oxycontin. Limbaugh took so much Oxycontin he went deaf in both ears. I'll tell you how I found out. So when I wasn't on the air, I was board op for WLS AM radio here in Chicago. So we would air the Rush Rewind, was between 2 and 4 in the morning, something like that. And so at one point, listening to Rush, you know how certain people, when they're deaf, they have that monotone sound that they have because they're deaf? He was getting that slightly in his cadence. And then when there was some distance between him and going to the callers. So for example, let's go to the Bronx and, hello, James on the Rush Limbaugh program. It'd be like 10 to 15 seconds, which is a long time in radio. We call that dead air. Hey, Rush, how you doing? It's James. And there'll be this gap in between time. Come to find out that during that timeline, Rush was going deaf, and the producer or producers were typing out what the caller was saying because he couldn't hear. That's how much Oxycontin Rush Limbaugh did. So to take it off the air, had cochlear implants for both ears so he could hear again. Same man talked about family value. Was married 3 times, going back to Limbaugh. You shouldn't have drug use in this country, and and you doing drugs to the point where you You went deaf. You know how much Oxycontin you have to do? Oh, six says nice bug, base. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Whoa, yes. Yeah, I mean, that means you have to literally pop Oxycontin morning, noon, and night, and a midnight snack in order for you to lose your hearing in both ears. Jed Tice, I like what you said about devs. They need to allow the gravitas and the foundation built to be wider by youth representatives like Justin AOC, et cetera. Schumer has been too limp-wristed. Well, again, right. And see, and let's talk about that for example, the balance of power. I understand nobody wants to relinquish power. If you're drunk with it, if you're intoxicated with it, obviously, if someone that took your blood level, you and oh yeah, he or she, yeah, they zooted, they drunk. And you don't want to let it go. I understand it, but you have to. You're not gonna be around forever. As I checked. So why not help people who are younger than you, put them on game, help them like somebody helped you? And not everybody's a helper. Not everybody is going to help other people because you have to have that instinctively within yourself to help others. You always want help and you always appreciate help, but no, then you want someone to help your ass, but incapable of helping others. So that's been an issue since the beginning of time itself. When my dad passed away, and I won't say that, and people know the church, but something I won't get into it name wise. So my dad passed away, and we had a young pastor come on board to give the eulogy, and I know I'm incredibly biased because of what he did for me and my family. But for someone who did not know my dad, and we gave him the information, of course, that memories of our father, he came off as though he knew my dad. At the time, we were looking for a new pastor, and the old guard at my church did not want anything to do with him. I heard rumored that the reason why was because he's too young. And that's the problem we have with certain people. They've been blessed to get older. A lot of people don't get to a certain age by whatever reasons. And you've been old so damn long, you've got what it was like to be young or younger. And then when you would think it'd be your time to help somebody, like somebody help your ass out, you don't want to do it. So I was hurt. Again, I'm incredibly biased because the man had a great manner about himself, like the way he comported himself. Again, he did my dad's funeral, and hats off to him. He did a fantastic job. So I thought that he would be a good candidate for the new pastor of our church. But again, he was too young. Then years later, had another pastor. This pastor was in his, I want to say, mid-30s, approaching his 40s. They didn't want him either. Why? Too young. Now, if you're in your 30s, going in your 40s, and you're talking about somebody being too young, now how old is your old ass? It upsets me, especially people again, and we're talking about a religious church, not jump up and down and wishing people to hell or something like that. We ain't talking about that, but still religion nonetheless, organized religion. But yet you want to play the game because this person is too young. And the same can be applied to the Democrats here. They're too young. And you're right. There should be a passing of the baton of progress. Nobody wants to do that. Hold on to it with my cold, dead hands. Senator Schumer was a condescending by how he wears his glasses, reading glasses, and looks at people. Sick dig. Are you right about that? I remember former radio personality and history podcaster Dan Carlin described both parties being filled with geriatrics. Well, he's right. He is correct in his assessment. So, again, as a person, again, registered Democrat, I'm lost. I would never go to the dark side of Republicans, and the Democrats are too conservative acting for me. So I'm an island amongst to myself. Oh, help. Let's see. Going back to Representative Graves, another thing he said was, I think the first step at this point is actually letting folks go home, cool down a little bit. I said that before earlier. And there are still really some raw emotions. If we hung around here right now, you would probably see some folks breaking down into a fist fight. Graves is also among lawmakers who are calling for Republicans to re-examine their rules that allow for just one member to call for a vote to oust the speaker. Yeah, that needs to be re-examined. But again, McCarthy cut that deal. Man, is it worth selling your soul? I guess so. So go back to say earlier about Trump. So this is an article from Newsweek. So with Kevin McCarthy ousted as Speaker of the House, some Republicans have suggested that Donald Trump should be taking up the gavel. The former president's legal troubles could block any efforts to bring him into the House's GOP leadership, according to Republican conference rules. McCarthy was voted out, as we know, as the top post in a historic vote Tuesday after 8 members, of course I call them the Hateful Eight, of his own caucus joined Democrats in voting against him. Now, after McCarthy announced that he would not seek speakership again, Representative Troy Niels, who had voted to keep McCarthy as Speaker, said on X, formerly Twitter, that he would nominate Trump for the job. Representative Greg Stubbe, another McCarthy supporter, also suggested the writing that real Donald Trump for Speaker. But even if Trump had full Republican support in the House, Rule 26 of the GOP conference states a member of the Republican leadership shall step aside if indicted for a felony of which a sentence or 2 or more years of imprisonment may be imposed. Conference rules are voted on by all members in November before each congressional session. Trump's been indicted 4 times in the past 6 months. He is facing charges in 2 federal cases, one related to his classified documents held in his Mar-a-Lago estate, and the other in connection to his election interference efforts culminating in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot. Also, he has been indicted in Manhattan in connection with hush money payment to adult film star and in Georgia in a case involving efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election results there as well. In total, he's been charged with 91 felony counts, many of which carry sentences greater than 2 years of imprisonment. So that's from an article in Newsweek. So again, it would be nice, but because of everything being laid out for what it is, it's very scary. And again, it wouldn't surprise me again if some lawyer try to go through a legal team, try to chop it all up and say that he could, meaning Trump, could be like the House Speaker. Once again, go back to what you said before, the number 3 position outside of Harris and being number 2, and of course Biden, of course, being in the top spot. So the plot thickens, boys and girls. It's like I said earlier in the comment section. It's going to get worse. I really believe that. This is nothing. And what's with the rush of trying to vote for a new speaker for next week? What's the rush with that? It's it's not only sad, but it's petty and disgraceful. But like I said, this is what you get, Republicans. This is what you get. Not only do you make the bed and lie in it, don't get up for a while. Just sit there and marinate. Enjoy yourself. Ooh wee. So we got a few minutes remaining left. Please type in the conversation for your remaining comments, or you call in at 312-597-2106. So I said earlier about what Patrick McHenry, interim speaker, was saying about removing former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi out of her office and workspace, saying that she should leave immediately. With all the important decisions that the new Republican leadership must address, which we are eagerly waiting, one of the first actions taken by the new Speaker interim was to order me, going back to Pelosi, to immediately vacate my office of the Capitol. Representative Steny Hoyer, Democrat out of Maryland, the former House Majority Leader, was also asked to leave his Capitol office space. NPR viewed the text that was sent and the email, which reportedly sent to Pelosi's staff at 6:11 p.m. on Tuesday, asking the team to remove their belongings by Wednesday. The Speaker pro tempore is going to reassign the H-132 for Speaker office use. Please vacate the space tomorrow. The room will be rekeyed. Pelosi, like most members of the House, maintains a regular office in the Cannon House building, which is just across the street from the Capitol. But as a former speaker, she also has access to a hideaway space within the Capitol itself. The speaker has sole authority to dole out prized Capitol real estate. This eviction is a sharp departure from tradition, she said in her statement. As Speaker, I gave former Speaker Hastert, as Dennis Hastert, a significantly larger suite of offices for as long as he wished. And Dennis Hastert was a Republican, well, probably still Republican, out of Illinois, who served as House Speaker from 1999 to 2007. But even as Speaker herself, Pelosi famously departed from tradition when it came to managing the spaces. She quietly revoked an office assigned to them to then Vice President Mike Pence and gave it to the White House Legislative Affairs team. Well, I say, boys and girls, you can't make sense out of nonsense. It's impossible. Just straight up defecate and urinate in the bed while they're at it. Oh, yeah. I love the quote from the Congresswoman yesterday. This is their pigsty. Let them get dirty. And go back. Thank you, Jay, for that. You're right. And look, going back to what Sick Diggy just said, there were 3 gentlemen in a convalescent home. One old man said, "You know, I miss doing number 1. I try and I strain and it hurts. I miss doing number 1." The second old man says, "I miss doing number 2. I used to go like Mount Helens. Now it hurts my stomach and I'm backed up like traffic. I missed doing number 2. Third old guy says, oh man, that's nothing. At 7:30 a.m., I have a wonderful, wonderful number 1. Flowing, nice stream. I hear going to the toilet hours. I hear it sometimes. I go to the toilet sometimes, and it's just a beautiful thing. Then at 7:35, I have a wonderful number 2. No strain, no backup. Man, just not a problem. And the second guy was like, well, what are you complaining for? I don't got to bed until 9 a.m. Let them lie in it. let them just bask in the ambiance of urine and defecation at this point. And nobody come to get them. Just let the sleeping dogs lie. Yeah, let feces and urine just manifest. And they deserve it. They deserve it. They really do. I mean, come on now. It's ridiculous how these things happen. And the sad thing is that it could have been avoided, but you're dealing with these people who deal with themselves first and you last. And that's if you're last. I don't even think the American people are even in the picture when it comes to these idiots. Not at all. So what can I say? I want to thank you all for joining me on this special baseline breakdown. Thank you all in the comment section for your comments and your thought process and your analysis as well. And we got to stick together on this one. It's nothing nice. Nothing nice at all. So it's not easy to hang in there, but we had no other choice. Just had to do it. Once again, I thank you for your time for being here. So for those of you who follow me, of course, again, traditionally we have CBI, and we interrupted that for this special baseline breakdown. CBI comes your way every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. Pacific time on the West Coast. And then join me on Saturday mornings. That's at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, and Pacific time is just way too early. So stay in bed. Please continue to sleep. Continue to get some Z's. Let's see. Hold on. My chair is leaving me. Hey, what's up, Wise? How you doing? Take good care. Now, you too, brother. Thank you, Ken. And once again, thank you all for being here. So going back to what I said, yeah, I hate my chair. I'm going to get another chair. So as you see, I'm slowly shrinking chair-wise. Oh, help. Let's see. So again, as we congregate next Saturday morning, coming up this Saturday morning, until that time, continue to be safe, continue to be sound, continue to be healthy. Most important above anything else, continue to be loved. And I hate my chair. If my chair had an ass, I would kick it. Long live the peace, long live the funk, and more power to you. I'll see you Saturday. Take care.
Join the transporter to Hades.
Your butt and gut becomes one.
Join the reformer of hooker whores.
This is my daughter, Placenta Booty Johnson.
Join the bronze god.
Whenever you are in distress, take off your baseball cap and throw it in the air.
Join your very own superhero of broadcasting, Chris Bass.
So whatever color crown they get, they palm it and do 2 circles, and that translates to, I can be the black people.
As he takes you through the week's paces in BaseLine. Live every Saturday at 8 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Central, Pacific time zone people, just stay asleep when this is on live and just catch the recording. Oh, I'm sorry. Exclusively on the Chris Bass YouTube channel.